was 9 years old now, and I knew him when he was a very young little guy before he could walk. And once he could start walking, his dad asked if I could let him be in the truck, and I can still remember him being the little guy up in the seat of my truck. And now he's a 9-year old, and he was so timid back in the early days. Now he's a 9-year old, and I saw him right before Christmas, and he again wanted to. Do you mind if I get in the truck and honk the horn, just like a 9-year-old kid would want to do? He got up there, and it was so cool to see the change in him from when I first started knowing him, just that little guy. But all those customers that I've dealt with for so long, it's just been a outstanding, I don't, they are family to me. That's exactly what they are. And I enjoy bringing them their freight, and, they've treated me like royalty.
Exactly. Exactly. And I never run the city. I mean, I had 7 years running coast to coast, so I dealt with customers and stuff. But as far as running the city here, no, 29 years I've been line haul. Uh,
Hmm.
but I hear a lot of my buddies in the city talk about this one and that one. And like you said, going to weddings and graduations, and, they become a part of the family. And that is totally awesome. And I know you're kind of kept to yourself. You don't brag, and so a lot of your customers don't know a lot of your history. About the TDCs and awards you've gotten and stuff. And you know, what helps you keep grounded? You know,
Well, I have to start with um, everything I've achieved is because the good Lord has put it in my lap and
amen.
has guided me for so long. Uh, it's hard not to stay grounded when you see so much beauty in the world. And I am a positive person. Kathy is such a positive person. We try and see the positive in everything. Um, it's been such a gift to work for a company that pushes safety. It's all about safety, getting the job done, but getting it done safely. And I've really tried over the years to just keep that in mind. That's the forefront. Drive the truck safely, do the job, and try and be positive in everything I do.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, and that's it. Stay positive, stay safe and all that. And that kind of leads me into my next question. That's a good place to segue into it right here. So, we have to stay safe, yearly to compete at the TDCs for sure. And so I want to talk a little bit about the TDCs there. So, who first introduced you to the truck driving championships? And what do you remember about that very first championship that you did?
It's 1990, and I had been driving a couple of years. I was actually eligible to compete in '89, um, and I found reasons not to do it. But a friend of mine, who actually was one of my trainers when I started driving, and um, he said, you just got to try it because it's a lot of fun. I'm not saying you got to do it next year, but try it this year. You might like it. I finally, and the other thing was I had 4 kids. At that time, I guess let's see, the youngest would have been 8 months. So from 8 months up to about 6, probably years old, the kids really wanted to see dad in the truck, especially my 2 older boys. So it was a great opportunity, by saying yes to competition. Hey, they'll be able to see me drive a truck. So that was a fun incentive. Now my very first TDC, I can remember it was so rainy in Portland. We had it the first week of June, first weekend in June. It was so rainy, and people were huddled underneath tents, and water was streaming through this parking lot that we were in. You couldn't even see some of the problems because they were in puddles. Um, but I really enjoyed the whole um, premise of being in the truck and competing against other drivers. And I didn't place that year. I was in the 3 axle class. I didn't place, but I had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the whole day. And I ended up getting Rookie of the Year for Oregon. So I didn't place, but I still did well enough to be the best rookie that year. Um, but it just kind of lit a fire under me, and um, I haven't looked back. It's like the next year I was trying to improve and trying to get better, and it took until 92 I got a second place, so I got into the winner's circle that year. But 94 was my first time at nationals. But those first years, the roots, they were they were a lot of fun, and I didn't understand the oh, as the years rolled on, it meant a lot more. In those very first years, is like, oh, this is just cool. I'm going to go out there and do the best I can. And once I understood what I was trying to achieve, that's when the really started to buckle down on the studies and the pre-trip and practicing. Yeah. So
I got you. And, there's a lot through the TDCs that we learn, and there's a lot that we learn about ourselves for sure. And I'm sure as, you uh, that year being, rookie of the year and all that, you learned a lot about yourself. What are some of those things that you learned about yourself, Dan?
well, first and foremost, you never stop learning. I did it for 35 years and I never knew it all. And there's no chance of knowing it all. We all, as human beings, are continually learning, and things are improving. The TDCs in the 90s are a lot different than the TDCs in the 2020s.
Yeah.
The problems are different. The pre-trip, some of the test questions I admit are the same 35 years later, but most of them, most of the history stuff that all stays the same. But I learned how to be a more focused driver, focused on safety driver, and um, it really changed my life to compete. Not only from a personal standpoint, but it also involved my family more, and the whole aspect of driving a truck and getting to be comfortable around trucks and watching what a truck can do. It really um, enlightened our whole family, and today our whole family is always at the TDCs, and the grandkids understand what's going on, and it's just been a fantastic path for me to travel to be in the TDCs.
Nice.
Absolutely.
How,
Absolutely.
how many trips did you make to nationals?
This last year was my 19th trip to nationals.
I knew
So
that, but I know a lot of people didn't.
yeah,
But
it's been a fun ride. I've seen some wonderful places because of the TDC.
right, exactly. And this this is just for me. Did your kids or grandkids help you practice?
Yes, yes, and
They get
especially
involved in the practicing.
yes, the kids, especially when they were, back in the 90s, we took them with us to practice, and the boys would learn how to score with an L stick, and yeah, yeah, Dana did the same thing. As the kids got a little bit older, so, some of them would have, a practice or something, but a lot of times the kids love being there with us, and um, we've had a few grandkids show up to watch, and they're always at the actual events, but we've had a couple come down to be able to sit in the truck with us.
Right, right. Now, let me ask you this question. This is a personal thing that happened to me. I got my youngest, Corey. Y'all know Corey. Have you ever pulled up to like a bullseye and you see this little 10-year-old kid walk out there and he stands on his tippy toes and all you can see is just his eyes. And then all of a sudden he looks at you and goes, really? Like you did before? Yeah. And it's like I just wrote down the window and I said, if you could do it better, get up here.
That's
Or I
so
can do it.
funny.
So, but and that's the big thing. Rodney Myers always said, get the family involved, get the kids involved, but safety first. Make sure you know where they're at, where
Yes,
they know where you're at
exactly.
and everything. But so how many times have you won the nationals?
This last year was my second one. So in 2006 and in 2025, I got first place in 3 axle.
What did them mean to you personally?
Wow, we all have goals in life that we're trying to achieve. And um, a lot of them are really hard to achieve, or real, hard to make that top spot. And to go up against, this year it was 48 other people, state champions, um, that are all excellent drivers. If you have won a state championship, you're an excellent driver. And to get to the point of feeling like, not only, it's hard to explain, but I felt like I belonged to that group. And some of those truckers I consider are some of the best people I've ever met.
Yes.
And not only truckers, but people. They just are some of the unbelievable how good they are. And we all have a lot of common goals, and that biggest common goal is safety, and the Lord driving us all to safety. So it's been a fantastic ride to be able to do that and to win twice. I almost, it's almost an out of body experience to say that I was able to come out on top with all those great drivers. So, very blessed. We are both blessed.
And I was proud to be there to witness it with you guys. That was awesome. Was there one run or competition moment that stands out as your favorite and most memorable?
Yeah, and it's the one that's closest to me as far as amount of time away, because my finals run this year, I had the highest score of anybody in the entire weekend. I had a 260 on the course.
Wow.
And to do that in my final competition, it's funny because I can take you back a little bit. We have been saying since the beginning of the year that we wanted to try and slow things down and enjoy the ride, enjoy the moments about the entire year, because we're watching a lot of last things happen. And when we got to nationals this year, we just kept telling each other, we trust you, Jesus. We love you, Jesus. Whatever the plan is, that's great. We wanted to stay in the moment, enjoy every moment. And when I got to that finals run, I really had a peace about me, even though I knew it was going to be the last time I drove in competition. But I had this peace kind of come over me as I was sitting there in the cab waiting to be told to come forward. And as I started, I just felt myself kind of drifting and slowly doing each problem. I wasn't worried about anything. Now, from my view, I couldn't see some of the problems as far as what I scored. And I'm not one that tries to look in the mirror to see if the green flag or red flag goes up. It just, if I see it, I see it. But so 3 of the problems I knew I had scored on, either by the reaction or by what I had seen in my mirrors. But I completed that run. And it was challenging. There was some very challenging problems. The parallel park was set up differently than I'd ever seen. But I completed that last run, and I waited for them to judge that last problem, and I set my brakes, and I can still remember, kind of breathing deep and telling myself, concentrate on a 3-point exit, because you don't want to lose what you just did. But I got out of the truck and slowly put my feet on the ground, and it kind of came over me that was the last time I would be doing that. And Eugene Malera from Transport Topic was there to interview the guys as they got out of the truck. So he asked me what it felt like to be my last run, and I told him, I said, it felt like a decent run. I don't know if it was good enough, and I really didn't at that point know whether it was good enough.
Right.
But I had given it my best effort. And I told him, I said, it just feels good to be in the finals and to put out the best effort I could right now. And the good Lord blessed me with 6 scores. Because 6 scores on the final competition and final drive. and at 260 points, I couldn't have asked for anything more. So that run is always, each problem is gonna be in my mind. I could go an hour telling you about each problem and
Right.
how I got through it all, but it was such a wonderful feeling to finish the course, get in the golf cart, and I just felt the breeze flowing past my face and just enjoying the ride.
I have to
Absolutely.
add, we actually, after we got home, we realized we both had our own version of his final run. So we wrote down our own stories so that we can go back and relive those moments because they're so dear to us. But he didn't know he had 6 green flags. So I had the joy of getting to tell him about 45 minutes later. That was really, really fun after all the years of getting to tell him what he did. And sometimes it's great news, and sometimes it's like, it's okay, baby.
I can never tell when I first saw Kathy coming towards me after I had run. It was about 45 minutes after I ran finals. And she had this big smile on her face and she's shaking her head side to side. And she does that no matter what. She's always so
Right.
happy for me no matter what. And I thought, oh, she's going to console me. I didn't quite do good enough this year. And then I gave her a hug and she says, you had a really good run. And I said, really? And then she told me about the 6 green flags. So it was quite a wonderful experience, the whole
That,
thing.
that's awesome. And I just want to say you got one heck of a support group right there.
Absolutely.
The
Oh,
first
I
time I got
absolutely do.
the first time I got to meet Kathy in Pittsburgh at 2014, I just real quick, I'm just going to say a memorable moment for me is I started competing in '99, took a few years off to be with the boys, go to racetracks, and I got back into it. I met Scott Woodrow, and you and Scott was good friends and competitors, and you had talked a lot about me. He had and when I got to Indianapolis at Four Cs, he introduced me to Dan. And you want to talk about an introduction. I mean, me and Dan started talking like we'd known each other because Scott had told him about me about him,
Hmm.
and just we had a great time. Then we got to Pittsburgh, and our wives got to meet. You got to meet my family, and I mean, it's just special moments. But
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
that's awesome, and to go out on top the way you did that is awesome. So now we're gonna segue into Tim here with leadership and helping others.
Yeah, yeah. So I want to talk about that a little bit. So, you and Kathy, y'all are definitely a team that helps other, and I've heard a lot about it. And, you help build a winning culture in the Oregon TDCs there. So what motivated you to mentor and encourage other drivers to get involved?
Well, it's just been such a great experience for me. And when you
Mhm.
have a great experience, you just want to share it.
Mhm.
And um, I was mentored by, several drivers early on, and I remember how it felt to be, given tips or encouragement, you know, and I really think back to those days and how it changed me as a driver to get that encouragement and get those tips. It's like I became a different driver because of it, and I wanted to be that same person that I was talking about. I wanted to help others,
Mhm.
find that path, and it's been a great experience to be able.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think their internet froze up there just a little bit. Hopefully, we'll get them back here in a minute, Steve. What a great story we got with
Fun
them so
with it.
far.
Yeah.
Everybody has a great stuff. You look forward to being there, and we've had barbecues together,
Mhm.
and we just we enjoy being with each other, and that's a big plus. That not only we compete together, and we get together before competition and make sure we're spread out as best we can,
Mhm.
so that we don't go against each other. We want to help each other win.
Right.
So it's
right.
it's been a great experience to mentor and a favorite. And I'm sure Kathy, you probably
Yeah, TDCs are awesome, and we've done it for a very long time. But anything that takes a lot of energy, you have to somehow fuel yourself. And we've discovered that by mentoring, it fuels our energy for the next year. And by helping create this family that is our state team, and I mean, it's expanded to nationally, obviously, as well, but we really are family. Spouses are always encouraged to be there. We train spouses so that they can be a good, solid support person for the driver, or brothers or sisters sometimes, or whatever the case, but sometimes kids. Um, but it's been something that's meant a lot to us, and the people there are very, very dear to us, and we hope to continue as part of their team if they want us around.
I'm
So
sure. I'm
the
sure
whole
they.
premise of this is safety, and to be able to spread safety.
Yeah.
You know, that's what trucking's all about. What we want to be safe on the roads, and our TDC mentoring, translates to safety on the road, and that's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about, for sure. Well, for sure. So, Kathy, kind of switching gears here just a little bit. Kind of give us some inside the behind the scenes perspective. What the TDC journeys, like behind the scenes. Whenever you're there and whenever you're helping out, or whether it be state or whether it be at nationals.
Oh my gosh, there's so many things I could talk about with this. I really was trying to think about how to answer this. Um, TDCs are something I've loved from early on. Dan got me involved when he was the only one going back to nationals, and I've been heavily involved since. He couldn't have kept me away if he would beat me with a stick, which he wouldn't do. But we planned our vacations around it when our kids were little. We raised our kids around TBC. That's, as Dan said, it's part of who they are. One of them was talking the other day in his retirement stuff about his work ethic and learning it from Dan and TDC and what we do with TDC. So that's been part of it. But when we practice, he taught me to be his eyes outside the truck, so that if there's problems, um, something he needs watched he can't see, I'm able to give him that feedback without him getting out. Sometimes I always judge him, which is usually fun. But I could give him a 50, but a 50 doesn't tell the whole story. If I don't tell him if he's drifting on a problem, or that was a credit card 50 and don't do that again,
Right.
you know, whatever the case might be. Um, it, there's been so many different parts to it. We're called Team Chamois, and it's a badge I wear really proudly. Walking through all these years at this guy's side, it's right there in my heart. And the number of people we've met, the people we call family here, the people we call family at nationals. I mean, goodness, where else? Where else do you get to have this group of people that are so dear to you that you get to go back and, they talk about having a reunion every year. How blessed are we to have gotten to do this so
Right.
long and with so many people we call family.
Yeah.
Right.
It's so, like I said, I could keep going on and on forever, but
Right.
it's dear to my heart.
Well, with that going down that road, you guys have been a team through the trucking industry, a team through the TDC. What has that taught you about teamwork in your marriage? That's a tough one right there, ain't it?
No, there's a lot. I mean, again, no matter what, I'm at his side.
Right.
No matter what. I hope to be there supporting and cheering him on, but I'm there to help pick up the pieces if I need to. The amount of respect I have for this man is off the charts, and the love is right alongside. And those are things we've practiced through TDC.
Yeah.
That's part of who we are.
We love doing things together, and that will never change. But
Yeah.
TDC and practicing and competing, it's always something we've done together.
Yeah.
And to be able to achieve a goal like what I did this year, that's because I had this help with me. Sometimes I feel like I'm, cheating because it's two against one for the other drivers, because I've got this lady that helps me so much.
Right.
But she has been everything, and
Mhm.
TDC has been just a great outlet for us to,
Mhm.
we in the early years, sometimes when the kids didn't go with us, this was our date. We didn't get a lot of dates with 4 kids, but we'd go down to practice and go to lunch, and that was our date. We had a great time. So
the really funny part that was he didn't realize I was having more fun at the practice than actually was going out to lunch afterwards. I never told him that.
but at lunchtime we could talk about how the practice
Yeah.
went and what can we improve the next time. So it was always a thing we did together, and we got good at it over the years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And we always loved doing it together. And we always figured no matter what it is we're tackling, we're stronger together, and we have an awful lot of fun together.
Yeah, we do. We laugh a lot. We met when we were 15 years old, and so we've known each other almost our
long time.
entire
Yeah.
lives, or at least our adult lives for sure. And we are made for each other, and we do everything together.
Yeah.
Well, Dan, I've heard people say that, your biggest passion is, your family and, God, family, and, TDCs, right? So now, what is it going to be? Now your family and your garden, right? And what does
Yeah.
that mean? What does that mean to you today?
My passion is always going to be my family. Gardening is a fascination. I love gardening and just the idea of soil and water and nutrients, and you can get something to grow out of the ground. That's always been a fascination to me. And I live in an area that grows a lot of different types of things. So that's been a fun thing. But family is something that's the most important thing in my life, along with my God. And they are one and the same to me. Um, we all take this journey, and as a trucker, my family has taken the journey with me. And I've talked to them about, when it's a snowy run or a nasty day outside. My oldest son told me just at Christmas time, he was so happy that he doesn't have to think about me at coming in late at night or being out in the snow. And obviously they carry that burden with me. And that's because of the passion that we all have for each other. We're a very tight knit family, and I'm truly blessed to say that my family has been with me through this entire journey, and they're a huge part of my success.
And continuing on with the family, you must be incredibly proud of your children. You got two Gonzaga graduates who become engineers, a youngest son who is now a firefighter, paramedic, and a daughter who also graduated from Gonzaga and serves at serves veterans at the Veterans Home, of California through music therapy. So, how does it feel seeing where they are today and who they've become?
Oh, it's an incredible feeling to watch. We've got all the pictures in our hallway of the kids when they were small. Those small kids became the adults they are now, and it's such a prideful thing to look at each one of them. They all had a different path. They've all been great additions to this world. They they make the world a better place, every one of them. And to watch them do their own thing and to raise their own family, and they're doing such a great job. It's not an easy world we live in.
Yeah.
There's lots of challenges, and to watch each one of them in their own way, um, climb those hills to meet those challenges. It's As a parent, you couldn't ask for more. We as parents, we want to mentor our kids, just like with TDC, and we've watched them change roles, and now they're mentoring their own kids and teaching them the right way and teaching them about God and all the things that are important in this life. And
Right.
it's I could go on for a long time about my kids, so I'll let Kathy say a few words, but love them dearly and so proud of them.
Yeah. And I
Absolutely.
would just add, I agree with everything Dan said, but I would add that they're all successful in what they've chosen to do. but much more importantly, they're all really good people.
Mm.
And they're all raising really good people, and they've married really good people. So we just were all together at Christmas time, and there's 21 people in this house, and I couldn't love every one of them any more than I do. They're just neat people, and it's really loud.
Just to say, it's probably really loud, yeah, when you get that many people together in one house for sure. And
Yeah,
but you wouldn't have it no other way, right?
No way.
No, for sure.
No way.
exactly. Exactly. But you enjoy the peace and quiet for about 10 minutes, and then you're looking around going, where's everybody at?
Yeah, it's too quiet.
Yeah, it's too quiet now. But what's the next chapter? More gardening, more family time, more mentoring, or all the above?
Let's go all of the above for sure.
Yeah.
I'm just looking forward to having more time, for the family.
Right.
Trucking has been a fantastic ride for me. Everything I own was because this lady and God wanted me to be trucking, and I was doing it, and it made me a good living, a really good living. We live a great life. But I see so much in this world that is good, and maybe that's, my eyes. I'm positive, but I want to stay, positive about everything that's happening in this world. I want to continue to mentor other TDC participants to keep the safety aspect of trucking going. I love gardening. I'll still do that. Want to do some traveling with this lady. We like to cruise like you, Steve, and we're going to do a little bit of that. And we're going to be showing up at some TDCs across the country just to volunteer and to help. So looking forward to that new chapter.
I know we're a good
We've got
place. Go ahead, Kathy. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was just saying we have 11 grandkids that one of the things they told us at Christmas is that they really wanted us to be at more of their events. So that's certainly high on the list.
Yeah, and there's plenty of them to go to.
There you go. There you go. I was going to say that a good place to start with traveling and helping out with some TDC type stuff is the Safety Drive for a Cure in Atlanta, Georgia. So you guys need to come on across country and help us out with that. We would love to have you there.
Yes.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you got an RV, you can park it right there on the lot for sure.
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
We haven't done the RV thing, but we know how to get plane tickets. So there's that.
Oh goodness.
And just know you guys got an open invite right here at the house if you ever decide to come to Ohio. So you make sure you call us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We've got a spare bedroom, and you guys are welcome anytime. So make it around TDC season so I get some of that knowledge from you.
That would be so much fun. We were just talking today when we were going for a walk about which TDCs would be really fun to go to, and the list got really long.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
Well, come on over to Georgia.
People all over the country. There's a long list to go see.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go. Well, this is what we call the post-trip part of the show. We're going to post-trip the show. We're going to get ready to end it because, we got 5 minutes left, and we're going to try to end it at 9:00 here Eastern, and I guess it's 9:00 Eastern. I guess it's what 6:00 Eastern your time. I mean Pacific
time.
Yeah, 6 o'clock.
Yeah, I get so messed up with the time zones, but it's been a great show and everything. I do want you to tell me a little bit, maybe one good thing or something, good story about Chris Hooten.
Oh man, I used to play basketball with him. In our 20s and 30s, we played a lot of basketball, and it was fun because a lot of the guys from the dock, we'd put up a sign-up sheet at work, and we'd rent the Y for a couple hours on a Saturday morning. And Chris loved to play basketball just like me. We played a lot. But that guy, man, as soon as we came across half court, he'd be yelling for the ball because he wanted to shoot. And if you threw it to him, you'd never get the ball back. Because that guy, he never saw a shot he didn't like. If it was across half court, he was open and ready to shoot. So, but had a great time playing ball with him, and did some racquetball and a few other fun things with him. We've had a great time. He's a great friend.
Yeah, he's a good guy, and I know that you and him, and y'all are a vital part of the TDC there, and the TDC FedEx family there at Oregon and all that. But I applaud you. I do have one lighthearted question for you, and so Dan, at the Truck Driving Championships, would you be more competitive now, or would you be more competitive, with planting your plants in the garden now?
No, TDC for sure. Plants are easy. TDC's hard.
TDC, for
I'm
sure.
very competitive with TDC, and it's been such a fun ride. And um, the people I've met, it's all because I was a competitive guy. From a very early age, playing sports and whatnot. This was the my ability to continue to be competitive. Because yeah, it was an outlet. Thank you, Kathy. It was an outlet to stay competitive, um, doing something I love, and it was still, watching other guys compete at nationals and state. It was fun to watch from outside the truck, but getting inside the truck, there's nothing like that feeling of trying to achieve, what you're shooting for, and it's never easy, and you're almost never going to be perfect. I was never perfect, so
Yeah.
we're all trying for perfect, but it's hard to achieve.
It's hard to achieve for sure, for sure. Well, we're going to go off the air here in just a minute. We want you to hang around after we go off the air. We want to speak to you on the other side of this. And we always have a word of encouragement for our listening audience as far as safety goes. So, Dan, what would you say to our listening audience there?
Just take your time, do your good pre-trip like you always do. Um, you know, following distance, keep that following distance, and just be prepared and have a great run.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Steve-O, go ahead, brother.
Like I always say, stay safe, stay true, and remember the most important trip is a trip home. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Great show tonight. We look forward to seeing you next week on Truckers Voices. Look for the announcements coming on that pretty soon. But man, wow, what a episode. A huge thank you to Dan and Kathy Shamrell for, sharing their story, their journey in the trucking and the truck driving championships, and, all the behind the scenes, that the fun stuff that we don't usually get to see or hear about, but we hope our listening audience, we hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. And if you love tonight's show, hit the follow button, leave a comment, and let us know what stories you want to hear next. So from all of us here at Truckers Voices, thank you for tuning in and keep on rolling. We'll see you here next time on Truckers Voices.
Trees line the roadside, the sun shines in the grass. Hilly hill behind me, another overpass. Loading out Abilene, headed to the coast. The freedom of the 4-lane is the thing I love the most. 18 wheels take me through rain and sleet and snow. 13 gears will pull me anywhere I want to go. Sometimes I wonder if it's worth it, but I know there's a lot of people out there that are counting on my load. Trees line the roadside, the sun shines in the grass. Another hill behind me, another overpass. Loading out Abilene, headed for the coast.